Ladies and gentlemen, so today we've got a ton of great Marvel Contest of Champions news. The first bit is that across the country, the brand new arcade version of Marvel Contest of Champions is launching, and today we're going to have a look at some of the gameplay from that, some of the cards, and kind of break down all of the stuff that is included with the arcade version. We also, via this new arcade announcement, Captain Marvel has been confirmed as a brand new playable character that's going to be coming next month as well. She's going to be cosmic, she's going to have persistent charges, and she is currently kind of used, as you can see on the arcade machine, as the promotional tile, and from what we can see is a playable character currently in the arcade machine. So it's almost always a given that with any big Marvel movie release, there's going to be kind of the big brand name champions made into playable characters. But one thing that I just love to see, because, you know, there's the old school version of Captain Marvel, there is also Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan as well. So there are like 3 Miss Marvels, which are kind of, you know, very comparatively underwhelming. So I hope that Captain Marvel, the movie edition, has some really like crazy synergies that buff them up, or, you know, maybe they get around to a revamp at some point there. But hopefully she's going to be a really cool character. Cosmic, obviously, she has a lot to compete with at the moment with the likes of Hyperion, Corvus Glaive, Medusa, Proxima Midnight, and, you know, so many other crazy Cosmic characters. Venom, Carnage, Venom the Duck. Like, Cosmic is a very overpopulated class for tremendously good characters at the moment. So to stand out, she's going to have to be an absolute banger of a character, like so incredibly good. But I feel like this year already, you know, we've had 4 champions, like 3 of them have been really decent, like Havoc, Mr. Sinister, Thing are really good. Diablo, I don't really know what happened there. So yeah, I've got, you know, fairly high hopes for Captain Marvel for the most part. Now, if you're a bit of a blubbery whale / gambling addict / person who will occasionally buy crystals, there is some really good news today, man, because there are going to be changes to the crystal drop rates, and boy oh boy, man, are they so good. And I think kind of the headline one, at least for me, because the Grandmaster featured hero crystals, you know, they're so incredibly pricey, and even like after this, they're still probably not going to be worth it, because again, very overpriced there. But the chance to get 4 and 5-star champions is being increased significantly, mainly when it comes to 5-star champions, and this is actually live right now in the game. So if you go for the Cyclops featured ones at the moment, which suck and you probably shouldn't go for those, but this, especially when it comes around to the next featured champion, is going to be so incredibly good there. So essentially the rundown is that 4-star champions, the drop rate has been increased to 15%. This is up from 12%, so not really, you know, that huge there. But the 5-star champion drop rate is from 2% to 5%, which is absolutely mega if you're a filthy whale like myself, because it means on average you're going to get 5-star champion, you know, 1 in every 20 crystals, as opposed to, on average, 1 in every 50 crystals. Again, you could still easily get through, you know, like 50, 100 of these without getting a single 5-star champion due to the way the RNG works. But it's good, man, because the drop rate has been doubled in a bit, so that's a great time. That's a really good time. But the Grandmaster featured hero crystals, you know, still represent terrible value, and kind of the more we move into 2019 and the more common 5-star champions get, the value of these is just going down and down for a 5-star champion. 6-star champions are becoming the future, so it's very nice to see them taking steps to, you know, kind of buff the 5-star drop rates and 4-star ones as well. And also there's some good news in terms of the standard featured crystal, because the drop rates for a 4-star champion are being increased to 5% and a 3-star champion to 25% there. So not too bad for the regular one, but in terms of the Grandmaster featured hero crystals and the regular ones, again, they're only really worth buying if you are some sort of, you know, salty gambling addict YouTuber, or somebody that has an excessive disposable income, because the majority of the time these crystals will just you know, give you an immediate sense of regret, so they're not really that worth it. However, one thing that's worth noting, again, just to show you here, the drop rate for the standard Grandmaster crystal has been increased. 5-star champion is now at 3%, and if we have a look at these wonderful featured Cyclops crystals, man, kabam Mike, gosh, absolutely mouth-watering over these juicy juicy boys here. You can see it's a 5% chance for a 5-star hero there. And if we go to the shard crystals, and this is something that disappoints me a little bit, and I really hope this gets updated, because as you may know, you get Grandmaster crystals from logging in once you uncollect it. However, if you look at the drop rates from these ones, they have not changed. It is still 1% chance for a 5-star hero. So yeah, that one really sucks, and they should definitely update it. So that would be a really good time. But overall, man, not too bad at all. Now, let's have a bit of a chat about the arcade version of Marvel Contest of Champions that is being rolled out to Dave & Buster's across, I believe, the United States and also Canada this week. Some Dave & Buster's currently have it, some are getting it tomorrow. Need to give a massive shout out here to Mutamat, White Rabbit, White Mike, and also a few members of the MCOC community that have just chucked across so many screenshots and videos of this brand new arcade version of Marvel Contest of Champions. So we're going to have a look at some gameplay, kind of break it down, give you all the need-to-know information, and have a look at some of the cards, man, because the cards are so damn cool. Now, the first thing to note when it comes to the arcade version of MCOC is there is no dexterity and no parry. So the 3 buttons on the right-hand side of the machine are to do a light attack, medium attack, and also heavy attack. The yellow button you're seeing is for the special attack. Then there is also the control stick, so a quick jab to the left will cause your character to dash back. If you go to the right, it's going to do kind of your standard, dash attack, as in like swiping into the opponent. However, if you hold it left, it's going to block as well. So, you have kind of like similar-ish controls to MCOC, and if you are a veteran of the game, you're probably going to understand it and get into it quite quickly. This is some of the footage that Mutamat sent over from Twitter. Absolute top lad here, and also a veteran player of MCOC. So once you've collected some of the cards, you can kind of swipe them and scan them to load them up on your team, and I love how they pop up, man. They look so incredibly cool there, and we've also got another video as well from White Rabbit, so you can see how these are inputted. But yeah, really badass. I don't think there are any synergies. They're just 3-star champions, but they do also have their awakened abilities as well, and the aim of the game is essentially to win 2 matches there. So, you've got a fairly straightforward fight for a veteran MCOC player. If you know what you're doing, man, you're going to have like such a straightforward time on this and be able to rake in kind of those exclusive trophy cards, collectible cards in no time at all. So Muta, as you can see there, absolutely trashed that Ghost with Killmonger. But bear in mind, man, we know how Marvel Contest of Champions works. This isn't like a super foreign game. A lot of people playing this game really do understand the controls, and this is just really straightforward. So yeah, the MCOC arcade version, it's very straightforward, it's very basic, but at the same time, it's an arcade version of the game. You're not really going to expect much, because Marvel Contest of Champions on mobile is such a such a drawn-out game. There's so much depth to it. So in all fairness, the arcade version is a little bit of a gimmick in comparison to the real OG version of Marvel Contest of Champions that you can get on mobile. But is it a fun novelty that you can play at the arcade and get some fun cards? Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. And the cards look so good, man. They look so badass. So definitely when I go to America later this year, I'm going to have so much fun just spending an excessive amount of money in Dave & Buster's, playing about on this machine and trying to collect as many as I possibly can here. So you can see, I believe there are 75 cards currently available. The Deadpool one looks amazing. Blade, Red Skull, Falcon, Vision, Storm, Wolverine. There's also like Wasp, Aegon, Gladiator, Hulk, like so many different characters that you can have and collect. So yeah, it's, a little bit of a fan favorite, a bit of a gimmick, but I also think as well, kind of newer Marvel fans that go to Dave & Buster's just because they've seen the movie, might not have heard of the game, are going to have, a bit of fun playing this game, bit of fun collecting the cards. Overall, it's a good time, man. The back of the card also has a bit of character info and a scannable QR code so that you can scan it on your phone. It'll open the App Store and you can download the game and get hooked on a brand new gambling addiction. So that's, all sorts of fun, ladies and gentlemen, all sorts of fun. So yeah, it's all a bit of a novelty when it comes to the arcade version, but I really like it. So now that we've had a look at some of Mutamat's stuff, let's have a look at the video that my boy White Rabbit sent over.
Welcome, Marvel Conquest of Champions. We got the arcade finally. It's been quite a number of years and we finally actually got the real deal arcade. The only thing that sucks about it, there's no parry and there's really no dodge. So It really turns into like bare bones, like Tekken fight style. Actually pretty awesome. All the old art, everything we've ever seen. Plus what happens is every time you win, you get a card. Every card you get to pick your chance. I did get lucky. I got some good pulls. So it started up. So from here, we got movement, light, medium, and heavy. Ooh, Bobby. Good, Bob. Rocket. This should be fast. That is if I can get stop hitting. Now, there's only all 3 stars whenever you go to choose them. Each one actually has a 3-star on it. But from what I was told, out of all the boxes that they load into these, they're actually going to have 1 4-star out of each box. Already had him. But yeah, stop in at Dave & Buster's. It's the only place you can play this.
So a couple of very cool hands-on looks at the arcade version of Marvel Contest of Champions. I like it, man. Again, it's a bit of a gimmick, but it's a very, very fun one. A massive shout out to Mutamat from the Class Advantage and also White Rabbit for sending over the gameplay footage. Really, really do appreciate it. Mad love there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts on everything in today's video? The new Captain Marvel, the buff crystal drop rates, the totally novelty arcade version of MCOC. Let me know in the comments section below. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.